everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Hopefully, you're hearing me well because my StreamYard thing here is indicating that I have one bar, and I don't know why because my internet seems to be working. So, if you're having any problems hearing me or my sound is a little bit garbled or in any way, please let me know because I'm not sure why it's indicating that I have one bar. But in the meantime, welcome to Facts and Two Cents. Our faves are doing great, as you can see. We'll get back to that in a second. And we are very, 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 very excited today. So much is going on. Wonderful stuff from our faves. Messiness across the pond, as usual. We'll get to all of it. There's a lot to talk about today. But hello, my friends. How are you all doing? Again, let me know if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up and let me know if you can hear me. I hope you are. Um, yeah, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that I'm not like talking to myself. Because again, this is looking a little bit. My StreamYard thing here is looking a little bit shady. So, somebody give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're hearing, or down if you're not hearing me well. Okay, Ladybird said you can hear. You can hear me. Okay, great. That makes me feel a little bit better. Sometimes my sound is a little bit iffy. So good. I'm glad you can hear me. Fantastic. How are you all doing? Let's see who is here. I'm just going to scroll all the way up. Annie is here. Hello, Annie and Black Queen. Our awesome moderator, Black Queen. Gabby is here. I see myself in the chat. Lorna is here. Rafaela is here hanging out with us from Rome. Connie, how are you feeling today, Connie? I hope you're feeling better. Connie's hanging out with us from Switzerland. Let's see who else is here. See, I got you, Lorna. Let's see who else is here. Church Nelly is here, awesome moderator, hanging out with us and all of our wonderful squaddies in South Carolina. Hello, Church Nelly. Church Nelly's giving us all the thumbs up. Karen M, our awesome moderator, is here. Hello, Karen M. And oh, wait, Connie, I got you before. So we got you there. Let's see who else is here with us. I'm scrolling all the way down. Oh, Perlina is here. Hello, Perlina. How are you? Happy you're here. Let's see. Hope I didn't miss anybody else. I was scrolling kind of fast. Lottie is here. Hi, Lottie. How are you? And all of our other friends as they're coming in. Janice is here. Ladybird's here. Elizabeth is here. We will say hello to all of our other friends as we go along. Hello, Joan and Maverick and Maureen. I see you all there. I am happy you caught the live too, Maverick. I am so happy then. But as you can see, our faves are doing great. Archetypes is back, you guys. Whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, this is from Apple. That's where I mostly listen to mine. I used to listen on Spotify, but since they they did what they did to Meghan and Harry, I kicked them to the curb. And so I unsubscribed and deleted their app and everything. So I've been really excited to get Archetypes back. And now I listen to it on Apple Podcasts. And so whatever podcast you listen, whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, Archetypes is now there. As you can see, the Lemonada brand, it's branded on Lemonada. It's funny because it's not on Lemonada. So I guess Lemonada may just be podcast that they produced, and that's on their website because it's not on their website. And so I'm assuming the new one that's going to be coming, that would be on theirs because they're going to be the ones producing it. And so I think that's how Lemonada works. At least that's what it seemed to me because I checked today and Archetypes is not on there. So I think this is on as you can see there. They are doing all of, as it says, actually, you know what? Let me move my banner so you can see the whole thing. And while I move it, if you have not subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video. Like and share the video, please. If you don't mind, help us out, share that around. And if you're able to join the podcast, join the channel as well. that would be awesome. So, and also welcome to all of our 200 people who are at the moment who have joined us. Some of you are not in the chat, but I'm happy you're here. So anyways, so as you can see down here, it says Archetypes with Meghan, a podcast where we investigate, dissect, and subvert the labels that try to hold women back. And he's at the bottom, it says sales and distribution by Lemonada. And so all of it now is going to be handled by Lemonada. And again, wherever you listen to podcasts, even if you still do Spotify or Amazon or wherever else, Audible, wherever else you listen to it, you will find Archetypes there. And again, whatever the new podcast is that Meghan is going to be doing, I guess that's the one that's going to be on Lemonada. So very, very exciting. And everything, one of the things I thought was going to happen, because I assumed obviously the photo is hers, and the you can see the fonts, the lettering, all of that stuff, the branding of it belonged to Meghan. The only thing that's changed is the color, which, green is more Spotify color. That's their color. So that the only thing that's changed for the podcast is the color, sort of like a gray purple kind of color. And so I love it. I absolutely love it. It's more girly. I love that as well. And but everything else about it, even again down to the font, everything is the same. And so kudos for Meghan that she owned all of this, which I thought she did. I'm like, if I know Meghan, she owned all of this down to the font and lettering. And she does. So there you go. I am so happy for her. So again, the link to the Apple podcast is in our community notes. I put it there earlier today. So if you have not checked it out, go check it out. If you have not listened to it before, well, if you're a squatty, shame. shame, but that's okay. Now you have a chance to listen to it for the first time. Of course, the majority of us going to be like the 50 millionth time, but there you go. And also church. Oh, wait. Thank you. Sonia is saying hello to everyone. Hello, Sonia. It kind of jumped on me, but Church Nelly if you click on Church Nelly's post, there, Church Nelly has the link there, Lemonada. And, so definitely click on it and you can go find it there. So there you go. I checked on Sussex.com. It's not there already. So Harry and Meghan, if you're listening to this, update your website. This needs to be on Archwell Productions. Now that you've gotten rid of Archwell Audio as one of your thing there, then put this under Archwell Productions. We need this there. So update. But the time I looked on it was earlier today, so I'm sure they were probably, they are 3 hours behind us, so they were probably still sleeping. So there you go. So today I'm going to check back and hopefully they would have updated that website. So they've been doing great. So, keep at it, Archwell, keep at it. So there you go. Thank you, Church Nelly, for that. Oh, Church Nelly. I kind of got busy, and you know what? I tried to get it off of Instagram, but Instagram was down when I was trying, and then I got busy and forgot. But I think it was yesterday, or is it today? That is Nacho's birthday. I saw a posting on it on X earlier, and I was like, oh, I gotta put this, and then Instagram was down, and so I couldn't screenshot anything. And so it was either yesterday or today. I wasn't sure. That's why I was going over at Instagram to look. And so I don't know if Instagram is still down, but when I was trying to get on it, it was down. And apparently there was a period today where Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube were all down. And I was like, what? So yeah, when I was first trying to set up the live stream, they said YouTube was down, and I was like, oh no. So I don't know if Instagram is back. I haven't checked in the last hour, so maybe, hopefully it's back. I don't really use my Facebook, so I don't really care about that. But so sorry, Church Nelly. So either yesterday or today was or is Nacho's birthday. So happy birthday, Nacho. Tomorrow, if I get it, I will bring it in and we can celebrate Nacho's birthday. But I just had to mention that. What else is happening? Spare is still happening. Oh my goodness, we can't get enough of that. There was a award ceremony, I guess, for the audiobooks. And so I think it's called the Audie. I think that's what it's called, the Audie Awards for audiobooks. And Penguin Random House, who they published Harry's book and many others, like Michelle Obama's book and a bunch of others, like is it Bono, I think, also did a book by them, and of course Britney Spears book and all of those things. So they produced or published all of those, and so there was this award. And so our Spare, it wasn't among the their main awards, but this was like a special award, and so that was among them. And so Spare one, it says, which is called the inaugural choice recognition, Spare by Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. And so that, there were like 3 or 4 other books, as we'll read in a second, that were part of that award. And so Harry was the winner of that one. So very exciting. I mean, hello. We're like in the second year of Spare, and Spare is still winning awards, and it's just like, oh, this is wonderful. So, which of course, we've all read Spare, and we've, if it were up to me, Spare would be the number 1 audiobook ever. Of course, I haven't listened to Bono's book. I didn't even realize he had a book. I was just like, oh, I had no idea. I mean, I read Spare, biography. I read Steve Jobs. I read Elon Musk. And so I was like, well, I guess I got to read Bono. I didn't even realize it was there. So there you go. And so a little bit more about it says, each year, Audio Publishers Association awards excellence in audiobooks across multiple categories and genres. And this year, Penguin Random House Audio scores top wins for Audiobook of the Year, Best Fiction Narrator, Personal Business Development, Mystery, Nonfiction, UK-produced audiobook, and earned an inaugural choice recognition. And that's what Harry won. And so R.S. Locke, one of our squaddies, gave us a little bit more information, because when I first started, I was like, what's the inaugural choice recognition? What is that about? I had no idea what that was about. So I was very happy to see her with this little blurb. It says, at this year's ceremony, the APA will also recognize audiobooks that not only captivated listeners, but also became cultural phenomenons, which Spare is. This year's inaugural APA Choice honoree includes Fort Wing, Never Finished, Spare, The Covenant Water, and The Woman in Me. So among all of those, Spare won the inaugural Choice Award. So thank you, R.S. Locke, because I was just like, I had no idea what that award meant. So I was very happy that she put that little blurb in there, and I was just like, thanks. So Harry is the inaugural Choice Award winner. So congratulations, Prince Harry. Spare just that little, that little book that just keeps going. That little energizer book. So there. What else is happening? Oh, this is just a little bit more. When they posted it yesterday, they're like, we're excited to have 7 Audie winners. See the thread and check out all the list, full lists, and more to come. So this is the tweet, and then when you open it, then you see the extra award there for Harry. So these are all the award, the books that won Audies yesterday. And so Michelle Obama's book, I am still reading. I think I've been reading that book for I don't know how many months. I keep reading a little bit of it, go to another book, come back to it, and read another bit, and come back. So I'm back to reading it. So I think I have 2 hours left on that book to finish it up. And then I guess I'll try Surrender. I didn't know until today that Bono wrote a book. So there you go. I'll check it out too. So there you go. Very exciting news in the book world. So, and I posted this in our community page yesterday. This is for, as Emily Ramshaw, she was posting, and then so she posts on your right, you see it says, you can join us for the 19th News after party. So I guess after the seminar panel thing that all these wonderful ladies, Meghan and Katie Kirk and Erin and Brooke and all of them, that they are going to be a part of. After that, there's an after party. And so I saw the thing yesterday and I posted this in our community page. So if you're in Austin, Texas, and you are able to attend, it's from 4 to 6 p.m. So after the seminar I think is from 1 to 2, and then this is from 4 to 6. And so you can click on it and sign up for tickets. As far as I saw early today, there was like about 2,000 people had already signed up, and it looks like it could still take more people. It's Texas, so they have huge buildings and stuff like that, so they can take a lot of people. Don't know if Meghan is going to be a part of it. I mean, I would probably not. I don't know. But if you're in the neighborhood in Austin, Texas, definitely go by. And the funny thing is, when I saw this yesterday, I thought I didn't read the thing. All I did was I click on it and I realized you can get tickets. I ran in, and I jumped right in and signed up for it and everything because I didn't read the thing. All I knew is that I'm going to sign up because I'm not going to get locked out again like I did in New York and miss the tickets. So I signed up without fully reading the thing to understand that I had to go to Austin, Texas. When I thought it was like, they were streaming it live or something. That's what I thought. I didn't even read where it says after party. So I promptly had to go right back in and cancel my tickets because there is no way I can get to Austin, Texas on Saturday. And so I had to promptly, cancel the whole thing because I just assumed, I just saw that you could sign up for tickets, didn't read it. I'm like, I'll read it after. Let me just sign up, secure my tickets because I thought it was, an online thing. So anyways, I had to cancel out, and hopefully, again, if you're in that neighborhood, you can go and to the after party, or you can also go and attend the event. So I don't know if they're going to be live streaming it at all. Though still don't know. We will see. So hopefully, our Texas squaddies, hey, go on over. So anyway, Lorna says, if Meghan is at that after party, I hope she has security with her. Well, Meghan doesn't go anywhere without security. She can't. So of course she will have to have her security. I mean, we saw even when she went to the Variety Awards in LA and how the security, they were all right there. So no, she, of course, she won't be able to go there without, they don't travel without security. So yeah. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, security will be tight. Absolutely. And then you're going to a town where, there's like free to carry weapons in that place. Yeah, absolutely. South by Southwest will definitely have to step up their security, and I'm sure they, that's all worked out. So I'm not worried about it. So let's see. What else is happening? Again, we have a lot. So I'm going to go through quite a bit of it and then I'll come back to the chat. So what else is happening? Yes. Yesterday, this was happening. And yesterday was all about Meghan, and I refused to talk about Kate yesterday. So I was like, okay, we're going to talk about Kate yesterday. And so this is hilarious to me. This is one of those, because the British press is like, oh, it is not staged. It's, it was a pop photograph and all of that stuff. And this is one of we definitely did not stage the photo for paparazzi. I mean, the thing is so staged, it's ridiculous. We've seen this nonsense before. And then, I think it's Christopher Boozy who pointed out that there is so much grain on this photo. It was like a camera from the 80s or something. Not even cell phone would have this much grain in a photo. And again, if you're going to have this much grain as a photographer, this kind of grain will only appear at night if you're shooting with, a camera or that is not a low, and you're shooting with lens that are not low light lens, then yes, at night you can have this kind of grain on your shot. But if you look at the photo, this is the daytime. Look at the sun all over her face. So this is daytime. No modern camera will give you this kind of grain in the daytime. I don't care how far away you're shooting, and this doesn't seem very far away. And it's just like, it's ridiculous. I mean, and so his thing was that they definitely put the grain in post, and that's what it looks like. They added, when you're editing, you can add grain to a shot, and that's what it seemed like, so that it appears that it's far away. And you have, again, this is daytime. This is bright sunshine. You don't have this much grain in a shot. This is craziness. And I mean, it's just like, come on, people. You're not dealing with the 80s here. You're dealing with people who have, who have cameras on their phone. And it's just like, if you're a pop and you are selling your photos, I mean, come on, you have better lenses than this. So it's ridiculous. And then there's the whole thing with, as you can see, I got this from an X where people are like, there are 5 wheels. And it's craziness because, as you can see, there are 2 wheels for the car, and apparently it's an Audi. I don't speak car, so I'm gonna take what they say online that it is an Audi. And you can definitely see the 5th wheel, and obviously you assume there are 4 wheels because there's 1 on the right and 2 on the left, and you assume there's the other one on the other side. But then there you see the 5th wheel all the way in the back there. And you know that because it has the 2 white things on the tires, just as the front ones. And what I think, people are saying that it's definitely Photoshop, it's an AI, whatever. What I think could have happened, because if you look at the angles when you're shooting, if you look at the angle, the fact that they got the grass at the ground, they got under the car, they have the wheels. So that means they're probably crouching, maybe hiding behind a tree or some, I don't know. But the fact that they're able to almost get under the car, it means that they're shooting from a very low position and they're shooting up. And so because of the angle, that could be why we don't see the car, because we're seeing the wheel back there. So that could be a reason why we're not seeing the car in the back. That could be. It could also be that this is completely photoshopped and they forgot to take the wheel out in the back there. That could very well be the case as well. But I was just looking at the angle of the shot. If I'm crouching, then I am going to get the grass at the bottom there. I am going to get almost at the bottom of the car. You can see the bottom of the car and the wheel in the back there. The way I could get that, because if I'm standing up, say at, car level, then there's no way I'm going to get under the car like that. You have to be in a crouch position. The camera at least has to be in a crouch position shooting up for you to be able to get that angle. So I'm assuming that's the reason why we don't see the car in the back. I'm assuming if that is her, that's a security car in the back riding with them. Now, then comes the whole drama of, wait a minute, that's not Kate. It doesn't mean, because people are looking at the shape of her face. It more looks like the shape of Pippa's face. I mean, if you've seen big pictures of Pippa, it kind of more looks like her face, the shape. But it could have just meant that Kate, she's been eating and she hasn't really been working out. If in fact she does have the abdominal surgery. You can't really work out with abdominal surgery. So maybe she's eating and, she gained a few pounds, which for Kate, I have to say, is not a bad thing because she is extremely petite. Same with, I'm not, and then this is not to down her weight at all. Some people are just very petite. We look at Meghan, the same thing. If they eat and gain weight, it's not a bad thing because they're extremely petite. So look, I'm neither here nor there whether she gained weight on her face, whatever, they can use it. And so, but it's like, and then people say, she has, which she does have a mole at the top on the right side of her face, right above her lip. And then the photo, when they took out all the grain, there is no mole there, which could be because when you're taking out grain and when you're sharpening an image and taking out grain and all of that, well, not sharpening, but you're fuzzying, I should say, an image, it can take out, stuff from your face because you're taking away. So as they're taking away all that grain, that could have gone with it. Or as, if you've listened to, there was a news outlet in Australia who came on and they are talking about this exact thing. And the purpose of the news report was to dispel these conspiracy theories. And then they put up this photo and then all the reporters are like, wait a minute, that's not Kate. So they were supposed to dispel rumors and all of a sudden they descended into their own conspiracy theories and like, that doesn't look like her. And so they have a whole new drama has started where people don't believe that's her. They now believe that it's a fake person. They believe it's Pippa. They believe it's AI. So the whole conspiracy theory has now gotten worse with this picture. And so, and on top of that, as you can see in the circle on the right, it was apparently done by Backgrid. If you know anything about trolls online, anytime they see a photo with the Sussexes that have Backgrid, their thing is that the Sussexes have called Backgrid and they're calling Paps on themselves. Now they have to explain why this photo with Kate is with Backgrid. Backgrid or a photographer sold this picture to Backgrid. So now they have to explain why Backgrid has that photo and why are they credited. So that means then if Meghan and Harry were calling Backgrid on themselves, so that means Kate has called, and whomever at Kensington Palace called Backgrid to do this. But now they're like, oh no, we had nothing to do with this. This was a pop photo, which is a complete lie. This is Kate. This is completely a staged photo. Because Backgrid is in the UK, they've been there forever. How come Backgrid did not get any photos from her supposedly coming from that hospital? How come how come there's only one photo of William leaving that hospital? I mean, so it's just the whole ridiculousness. All of this time, this is the only time Backgrid has a photo of Kate, when the pressure from the press, from social media, from international press are on her. This is the only time all of a sudden she shows up and it's not staged. Come on, really? So their other issue now is that now nobody is believing this is Kate. So I'm telling you, Kensington Palace bungled this so badly. Nobody believes anything they say now. Not even their supporters believing when they're putting someone out that could or could not be Kate. I have no idea if it's Kate or not. The face doesn't look like her, but again, she could have gained some weight. She's not working out. She could have gained some weight in her face. Maybe that's where weight comes in. I have no idea. Could it be her sister? Absolutely. They kind of look alike, I guess. And so the whole thing is just, it's so ridiculous. But again, this has only happened where reporters who are normally they're royalists are saying the only thing that would solve this is for Kensington Palace to come clean. They have to come clean. And so, because people are calling out the press, the British press, especially royal reporters, for their invasion of the Sussexes' privacy, especially when they were in the UK. And now they're all like, oh, none of us are posting these pictures because we respect the privacy of the Princess of Wales as she recovers. And now people are throwing back at them all the time that they have invaded Meghan's and Harry's privacy, including when they left Kensington Palace and they were staying at a home in the what's it called, the Berkshires or whatever it was called. And then paparazzi they used helicopters and photographed the home, including inside of Harry and Meghan's bedroom, where they had to take them to court. They sued them and they took down the photos. Apparently the articles are still there. They took down the photos in their bedroom, but the other stuff is still there. And of course Harry and Meghan won the suit. But the same people who are claiming now that, oh, no, we're not putting up these paparazzi photos of Kate, were the same ones who were like, they had no problems posting pictures of Harry and Meghan's bedroom. And so people are calling them out for that. And they're like, oh, the palace will never sanction photos when the Cambridges or the Waleses are on their private time. They will never sanction photos. And then they have to explain, well, remember those Flyby photos? That was their private time. But somehow the palace sanctioned it, and all the press had their Flyby photos, and all the other times that you've seen Kate that their press has when she wasn't officially doing, her duty, whatever. You have to explain to Sarah when she showed up to Sarah Everard's memorial thing. That was her private time. That's what they said. That was her private time. So then how is it okay that the press had those photos? So again, none of this makes any sense. And that's why nobody believes anything coming out of Kensington Palace. So until they come clean, this is just, she might as well have stayed home, because this whole thing has now gotten even worse than before the photos. So it's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. And again, they have bungled this so badly that they have no credibility at all. Let's see. Terry said someone in the UK sold the photo to TMZ. Yeah, apparently it's on Backgrid's website, and someone sold it to them. And if you remember, I think it was Omid, and I don't remember if it was an article Omid wrote or if it was in his book. It might have been in his book, where he talks about there are things that when royal reporters especially have like a story or photo, whatever, and they can't drop it in the UK, they would secretly give it to a US or some other outlets in in the world press to publish it, and they make money off of it. And I think this could be exactly what happened. Someone there in the British press, they know that they wouldn't, the press there wouldn't do it, but they could make money if they sold that story or if they sold the article to some an outlet in the US, which is exactly what I think happened here. So somebody in their press is most likely making money off of this. So let's see. What else you guys are saying before we move on? Angelina, hello, Angelina. Angelina says something in the British press is clutching their pearls as if they've ever had standards. I know, right? It is so ridiculous. And again, one of the challenges that they have now is that squatties have receipts. We have receipts. So all of it is getting thrown right back in their faces. And the cool thing about it is so many people who are not even squatties are calling them out on this. So many people who now we don't really have to do a whole lot, because people who are not even have been, per se, paying as much attention as we do to this stuff are all calling them out on this. So because they also know what they did to Meghan and how much they invaded their privacy, and all of a sudden it's no, she has to have her privacy. All of a sudden they know what privacy means. But the privacy they wouldn't afford the Sussexes, especially Meghan. And that is what people are throwing back at them when they're like, she needs privacy. The majority of the response is, no, we're going to give her the same amount that you gave to Meghan, which is none. So yeah. Let's see. Joan Commonwealth says, a facelift? Yeah. Swollen eye, swollen face? Yeah. Could be. People have said that most likely is a facelift. Could be. Who knows? I have no idea. But her face definitely is fuller than how it was. I mean, if you have surgery, I don't know if you can really eat a lot. So then I don't know why her face would be swollen. I mean, I don't know. It's just what I'm thinking. I was just thinking that maybe, because she's not working out, then we gain weight in different areas. Like I gain weight in my hips. Some people gain it in their stomach. Some people in their faces. So who knows? Lottie says, so she's talking to Eugenie, I think 100% they just think everyone else is stupid, which is, this is why. And the thing about it too is people have behaved like they're stupid when it comes to the royal family. They have not had to face up to their lies. They've not had to, suffer the consequences of their lies, where people literally are like, no, we don't believe you're a liar. They never had to deal with this. And so now it's just like, what do we do? What do we do? And they're messing up every sense of the word. Oh, Angelina says, KP outed themselves. Backgrid is clearly on KP's payroll to basically stalk and capture photos of Harry and Meghan. And you notice, the thing with Backgrid, with Harry and Meghan, is ever since what happened in New York, and they came out with that, when Harry and Meghan's lawyer asked them for the videos that they have so that it can improve their security, and they came out with this really snarky, their lawyer came out with this really snarky comment that, oh, we don't answer to royals in this country and all of that stuff. And that made big news for them. Ever since that time, they have been silent. They have not said a word. And then, of course, we saw what the New York City Police Department came out with, that in fact, exactly what Harry and Meghan said happened. So Backgrid would have had that. And if it wasn't, they would have continued because it would have given them great publicity to continue their snarkiness, and they have been silent. And so I'm like, especially with the New York police said that they have enough evidence to charge 2 people. I wonder who those 2 people are. So yeah, very interesting. So whoever this person is, I have no idea if it's Kate or if it's not. I have no idea. And it seems no one else does as well. So interesting. Lorna says, if Mumbles put people through this just for a facelift, people are going to be mad, and it will be falling out of my chair laughing. I mean, it would really, that would be really bad. That would be really, really, really disgusting because, again, you're playing on people's sympathy. And if that's the case, they're not going to live that down. They're already, Prince William is already especially missing that memorial service. And if you notice, he did, I think, a couple of engagements a couple of days later. We have not seen Prince William since. And people are starting to talk about that again. Like, they think that he's taking another week off. I don't know. I haven't looked at the court circular to see what his schedule is. But again, people are talking about this, and more people their eyes are open to the fact that, wait a minute, William isn't really doing anything. He is really not doing anything compared to some really older ones, which we'll get to in a second. So people are really paying attention to what is happening and what they're doing. And they don't have Prince Harry to hide behind anymore. They are now out there with the glare of the spotlight on them. Buckingham Palace is not rescuing them. They're doing everything to out them. And a lot of it is probably to make sure they work, because remember they said that she'll come back right after Easter. Now it's more because I think it's the Irish Guards, whatever, they said that Kate would be doing whatever the viewing or whatever they call it, that the inspecting for Trooping the Color, which is in June. KP is like, we didn't confirm that. This is like a couple months later. They said she was coming back right after the Easter. Even in June for Trooping, Kensington Palace refused to confirm that Kate will be part of that. I said when this whole thing started, don't expect Kate until 2025. And I stand by that. If I see her before 2025, I will be shocked. Because they don't even want to confirm something in June for her. So there you go. But moving on from Kate and her mess, whoever that is, moving on from their mess. And I'm telling you, when we told those people that, they will nothing good will happen to these people until they do right by Meghan, we're not kidding. Because even Princess Anne's husband, Tim Lawrence, he can't escape it. Sir Tim Lawrence's black eye is from gardening accidents, says the palace. Now, I've been trying to figure out yesterday, what do you have to do in a garden? And what would you be doing in a garden to get a black eye? Or, like that. Like, I have no idea. So it says, Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence, the Princess Royal's husband, was sporting a black eye at a charity event at Westminster Abbey on Monday. I don't mean to laugh at his black eye, but it's just like, this family is snake bit. The 69-year-old sustained the injury in a gardening incident, involving some fencing at the weekend, according to a royal source. So Tim did not let the Shiner put him off attending the service marking the 200th anniversary of the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, the RNLI, for which he is the vice president. Now, somebody said, well, if you stepped in a hole and then it whacked you, that could be the case. The handle, I guess, whacking you in the face, which is a little scary if that's the case, because that's so close to his eye. But it's just like, other than that, I don't know what could have happened. Why to give him that big black mark right by his eye there, right? But it's just like, I'm telling you, y'all would never know peace until y'all do right by Meghan and Harry. So it's just like, That's interesting. Or, Princess Anne, what have you done? Who knows? They're probably blaming the garden when that's not the case. Who knows? But anyways, what else is happening? Talk about working royals. The Duke of Kent is the president of the RNLI. As we can see, Sir Tim was at this event yesterday. He is the vice president. Well, the Duke of Kent, not the Prince and Princess Michael of Kent. That's the younger brother. This is the older brother who is about, I think, about just a little younger than the Queen, and he was out yesterday. And so he was at, he's the president of the RNLI and is attending the service of Thanksgiving, celebrating the institution's 200th anniversary at the Wabi. And that's the same event that Sir Tim was at yesterday. The 88-year-old cousin of Queen Elizabeth and working royal is using a walking stick to help keeping him mobile. And this is all from a video. This man could barely walk. And I mean, it's just like you watch him walk, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's going to fall over. And he has his cane there and he's up and he's doing, he's doing his royal duty because they do get paid from the sovereign grant. And, in order to keep that funds going, even though he's 88 years old, he is out there working. And here he is. Yesterday, again, inspecting the boats as part of that whole thing. He's inspecting the boats. And again, he is so fragile. I mean, he is like bone thin, fragile with this cane. And you're like, please, just maybe one on the one side and one on the other, just in case he falls over. It is so scary watching this man walk. And yet he's out there, which begs the question, where is William? If this man is out there working at 88 years old, barely able to stand up, and he is using his cane, where is Prince William? Where is Prince William? And it just is like, oh my goodness. And I think that's why when people see this, it is so now it's like, okay, William has not done an event ever since he did that, and again, the event he did, apparently the last events he did, I think he did like 3 of them in a row. And again, these things are like 30 minutes, 45 minutes each. The first event he did was at a pub where Ryan Reynolds and some other dude owns this pub. I think it's part of like a football team or something like that. His first event in the morning was at the pub where he was drinking beer. And then his other events was meeting school kids and all of that stuff. I'm like, shouldn't that have been reversed if you're going to be drinking? Why are you drinking in the morning and then you have to meet school kids later? And it's just like, are you kidding me? And so that was last week. That's the last time we've heard of William. The very last time. And we are here in Tuesday, the next following week, and we have yet to hear what William is going to be doing this week. They apparently, Buckingham Palace said that, and I'm sure this probably irked him, they have put out this announcement that the Queen is going to be at the Commonwealth service, and they literally wrote that accompanying the Queen is the Prince of Wales and then the others like Sophie and the rest of them. But I know that's probably gonna get his goat that he's come second to the Queen, and he's like accompanying the Queen. Literally, he wrote that accompanying the Queen is the Prince of Wales. And I was like, maybe he won't show up next on the Commonwealth service either. And again, remember, King Charles wanted, considered having William read that stuff for him. And even he can't be certain that William is going to show up. So he's like, hey, no, I'm just going to do a video. It's crazy. And again, as, Lady Bird says, the royals are slipping down themselves. I mean, in so many ways. In so many ways. And again, they cannot hide behind Harry and Meghan. They can't even hide behind the king anymore, because now it's just all out in the open, and people are now really questioning. People who did not question before are now questioning what is happening there. Incredible. They are seeing the laziness right in front of their faces. And the funny thing is, the British press cannot cover for them. They are doing everything they can to cover, and it's just not working. It is just not working. And this happened last week, and this, while Kate was supposedly, according to some, in a coma, or recovering from her very serious abdominal surgery, whatever, these royals didn't seem to care that much, because they were in Bahrain. And F1 had their event in Bahrain, and that is where they were. Mike and I will never remember, what is her name? Zika? Zola? I never, Zara. There you go. I never, like, her name just never is, I don't know why. Maybe she doesn't look like a Zara in my mind. So I could never it's just never at the tip of my tongue. So Mike and Zara Tyndall, and also Peter, Zara's brother, they were all in Bahrain for this F1 event over there in the and not only they were there, Fergie and Eugenie was also there. Eugenie and her husband Jack were also there. And so they're all having this grand old time in Bahrain while the king is having, cancer treatment. And notice they weren't at the event. I don't think they were at the memorial. So they were all in Bahrain enjoying themselves. And while the memorial was going on, and Kate is, in bed recovering from her abdominal surgery, and the king is suffering through his chemo or whatever therapy he's going through for his cancer. Notice nobody complained about these people there. But, if Meghan is out smiling or they're at Invictus, it's always a problem. But these people hanging out on a vacation, apparently, in Bahrain, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. As you can see, the hello is like mother-daughter duo who were joined by Eugenie's husband, Jack Brookbank, warmly greeted the Red Bull team principal following their team success at the Bahrain Grand Prix over the weekend. So yeah, they were all there enjoying and having a great time. And what happened? They all came back to UK, and look at what they came back in that nobody is complaining about. A private jet. Well, what do you know? Here's Eugenie and Jack coming off, walking down the steps of their private jet. Zara coming down the stairs over there on the left of the private jet. And look at who was a part of that private jet and who they may have been hobnobbing with in Bahrain. Princess Eugenie, Jack Brooksbank, Mike and Zara Tyndall fly back to the UK from Bahrain Grand Prix with Jeremy Clarkson. That's right, the same Jeremy Clarkson who wanted to drag Meghan through the streets of the UK, throwing filth and dung at her. Yeah, excrement at her, while screaming shame at her. That Jeremy Clarkson. Notice I'm reading from their favorite tabloid, the Daily Mail. All of them coming back on that private jet together, hugging and kissing away. That is all those circles in red are Jeremy Clarkson. And if you notice, the one in the middle, top middle, right next to Jeremy Clarkson is Mike Tyndall. And right next to him in the black jacket there, the black gray hoodie, is Jack Brooksbank, Eugenie's husband. And there you got Jeremy Clarkson. They're all there together on that plane. Now, were they hanging out with Jeremy Clarkson in Bahrain? Did they all just happen to have a ride back to the UK in a private jet? Someone invited them all back on his private jet. That could be the case. But it's not the first time we've seen this pattern with Eugenie and Beatrice hanging out with the very people that have spent how many years abusing Meghan. And the first time I saw it with Eugenie, I sort of gave her a pass. She was pregnant, and she was leaving. I didn't see her with, but it's kind of like, wait a minute. If you care about your brother and your sister-in-law or your cousin-in-law, as I would I be anywhere close to this man? I don't think I would. But here they are, all together with Jeremy Clarkson. And that's why the Daily Mail put it there, that all of them are together. So we know that there's nothing going, that there's no bad blood between Jeremy Clarkson and Princess Eugenie and Jack. Oh, no. Prince Harry and Meghan's cousins, Eugenie and Jack and Mike and Zara, are all up close with Jeremy Clarkson. That's why they put it there. And that's why they have those pictures there with Jack and Mike and Jeremy Clarkson right there next to him, right there. That's why they're all there. And that just definitely gives you vibes because we've seen this before. But this is Beatrice. Was it last year? Beatrice hugging Piers Morgan. And there's Piers Morgan's wife, the same two that abused Meghan for how many years now? 6, 7 years, and still happening. Eugenie had like lunch with them, and there's Eugenie hugging Piers Morgan. We've seen this pattern before with the York girls. And then, Piers Morgan, basically said that, some people in the royal family thanked him for basically abusing Meghan. We've seen this before. Same pattern, same energy. And it's just, I'm telling you, Harry's family, while I was willing to give Eugenie a pass before, not anymore. I gave her a pass. I'm like, okay, it probably was her sister set it up. She is pregnant. I gave her a pass when this happened with Piers Morgan, but I'm not anymore. Not anymore. I'm telling you, none of these people can be trusted. None of them. And this is the same Meghan who allowed her to live in her house and all of this stuff. It is just like, it is so sickening. It is just so sickening to see. And again, this is the Daily Mail throwing it in Meghan's face. See, your cousin is not all that, there for you. Look at who she's hanging out with. She's hanging out with the man that basically wanted to, had you stripped naked and hauled through the streets of the UK with excrement scrolled at you. See, they're on Jeremy Clarkson's side. That's why the Daily Mail has it there. That's why we have these pictures of Beatrice hugging Piers Morgan. It's the same reason. See, the man who's been abusing you, Beatrice and Eugenie are tight with him. So see, they have none, zero. They have no loyalties, none. And people are like, Harry and Meghan should go back. Like, for what? I would never allow these people in my home. I hope Harry sees and Meghan see those pictures with Eugenie and Jeremy Clarkson. I hope so. I would never trust any of these people. Yeah, I don't either. I definitely gave her a pass when I saw these pictures with Beatrice, but no, not anymore. So it is just crazy. It is just like, are you serious, girl? I noticed nobody is complaining about the fact that they all were in a private jet. Nobody is complaining about the fact that they have been hanging out in Bahrain, enjoying themselves. Nobody has complained that Sophie and Edward were away. I think they were on like some kind of ski trip or something. Nobody has complained. Nobody has complained that Camilla is off in the sunshine, wherever the sunshine, leads her. Nobody has complained. But let Meghan be in a car smiling. Let Meghan be walking the streets of California and see what their complaints are. Unbelievable. Thierry said they are all snakes. Meghan should stay far away from them. They are all backstabbers. Totally snakes. Completely snakes. And speaking about Piers Morgan, oh, we knew this was coming. I mean, we talked about this, last year I was talking about this mess. We knew this was coming. Murdoch Talk TV to close down television channel and go online only. Remember how a couple of weeks ago, Piers Morgan, he's like, my show is closing down. I'm going online. It's my choice and all of that stuff. And we all called him a liar because we're like, no, it's not your choice because you failed. Your channel is failing. It's been failing the whole time. And he wanted people to believe, no, it's his choice. No, look at it's failing. It says after 2 years of dismal ratings, Talk TV to close as traditional TV channel, and its content will run online only. It is a complete failure. iNews report on it. It says Rupert Murdoch's Talk TV to close as a linear traditional broadcast TV channel and move online only after 2 years marred by poor ratings. Staff were told of the move on Tuesday, today, with Talk TV set to disappear from TV screens by the summer. According to an email to staff obtained by Guido Fawkes' website, Talk TV will continue to live stream news and opinion channels. An opinion channel distributed through streaming platforms, including YouTube, Amazon Fire, Samsung, LG, and others. Its flagship show, Piers Morgan Uncensored, had already moved from the TV schedules to become a YouTube-only program. The channel had suffered the embarrassment of registering zero viewers on numerous occasions. I never had zero viewers, and I have the smallest channel ever. But again, this is TV, not exactly YouTube, but I just had to laugh. The email from Scott Troughton, News UK head of broadcasting, acknowledged that Talk TV had failed to build the big enough television audience. It's been a failure from day one. This was supposed to be Piers Morgan. This is supposed to be his flagship thing. He was going to be the mouth of this channel, the face of this channel. He was going to destroy the Sussexes because that was one of his big things. Watch out, Meghan. That was his big thing. And as we've been saying for a year and something, this channel has failed it was like failure to launch. And what is so funny is, thank you, Chris from Axe by Twit, and she reminded us of that little clipping at the bottom. Piers Morgan hired to launch Rupert Murdoch's Talk TV station, Talk TV. News UK TV station will be rival to floundering GB News and go on air early 2022. So when GB News started it's still floundering. It's shedding money like crazy. They're just pumping in millions into that thing to sort of keep it going, but that is still failing. But it was doing a lot better than Talk TV. It was beating it all the time in the ratings. So when Talk TV came in 2022, the thing was they were going to be, the rival to this floundering GB News. Well, look at the bottom. It says, News UK is believed to have approached rival GB News, which is enjoying higher ratings with a merger proposal, but the discussions came to nothing. So they came in, I was like, oh, we're going to rival. We're going to beat that floundering GB News. And in the end, they were trying to get GB News to partner with them because they were failing so bad that even GB News was beating them on the regular. And so I'm telling you, and again, as with everything, Piers Morgan, they fail up. Don't be surprised if someplace he lands someplace else, because this has been his entire career. It has been his entire career. And it just failing up. He is a rich white man, and that's what they do in the UK, unfortunately. Hopefully this is the last time anybody have Piers Morgan on their TV screen. The world would be better for it. Stay on YouTube. That is optional. People don't have to go on YouTube or wherever and see you. So, but by the summer, Talk TV will be no more. So there you go. It just, and again, all these people doing the most to try to destroy the Sussexes, and yes. Sonia says, Puddle, check this out. Talk TV will close, and for Wooten is finally fired. Oh, wait, he is finally fired? Because I hadn't seen anything from ever since he got apparently cleared by the police, the Metropolitan Police. I hadn't seen anything. So did this just happen today? Because when I was on earlier, I hadn't seen anything. So if that's the case, perfect. If we never have to see that nonsense ever again from Piers Morgan or Dan Wooten, we'll all be happier for it. The world would be better off without the garbage twins. We have had enough garbage from these two. We don't need any more. So there you go. So, thank you, Maverick. Yes, please. To all of our 500 people who are on right now listening to the live, please give us a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, subscribe. Help us to get to 10,000. That's my big goal. So definitely help us to get there. So yes. Thank you, Robert. I could use that Martinelli spritz. Cranberry. That is awesome. Ooh, I could just imagine it now. Thank you so much, my friend. So yes, let's see. Sonia's like, Lady in Black is making your rounds. Here comes Karma. I'm telling you, Karma has sat on that island and she has nowhere to go right now. She is just like, I'm just gonna sit here and I'm just gonna have a drink and talk with you for a while because y'all need some talking to. So yes, so yeah, I guess this is the last we see, hopefully the last of Piers Morgan, the last of Dan Wootton on anyone's television set ever. So anyways, what else is going on in the world between this mess? Real life is happening still, there is no ceasefire. Real life is happening. This is very interesting. We talked about this before, moving away from royal stuff and their mess and Piers Morgan into real world stuff. And one of the things we talked about is one of the big reasons for this genocide that's happening in Palestine right now. Yes, I know the media and the government's like, oh, Israel has a right to defend himself with what happened on October 7th. As if that's when it started. We all know it was what happened before, that October 7th is in response to what Israel's been doing to Palestinians for 75 years. And so one of the things we talked about, they were like, oh no, the reason why there is this genocide going on now is because of Hamas, and it's to rescue the hostages that Hamas took on October 7th. Which I have said from day one, that is a lie. It's been that lie from day one. It remains a lie today. All it is, it's using that event to ethnically cleanse Palestinians from Palestine, and they're doing it whatever way: starvation, straight out bombing, murder. I mean, in every which way they are completely decimating. The northern Gaza, central Gaza especially northern Gaza is like decimated. One of the things that's happening now, settlers that were taking over the West Bank, and again, they're kicking out Palestinians from their land and their home and taking over, all under the watchful eye of the military, the police in West Bank, who, because again, it's under Israeli occupation, they're doing nothing. Palestinians are being kicked out, cannot go back ever to their land, and they're just taking over the land. Now, because they've basically destroyed, especially northern Gaza, those settlers from the West Bank are now coming into Gaza. They're setting up tent and they're doing the exact same thing. And so one of the things that's happened, we talked about before about the people that are settlers in Palestine, those illegal settlements. Again, all of this is illegal. It's against international law. All of those settlements in the West Bank and in Bethlehem and Gaza, they're all illegal. They're against international law. But again, as with all things Israel, they are doing it and there's no penalty. Even though it's breaking international law, there is no penalty. There are no consequences for what they're doing. And so, and I've mentioned this before, because a lot of the people that are the settlers, the Jewish settlers in the West Bank and all over wherever else there are in Palestine, are from the US. The majority are from the US, Europe, Australia, South Africa. I mean, those are the people that are there. And so they are taking over Palestinian land. And one of the things that is doing, a lot of them they are taking away Palestinian homes and selling those homes. Some of them are using as Airbnb. It is crazy. And again, they're wiping Palestinians off of their homes and their lands, never to go back. And they're selling off their property and getting money for other people's homes and property. Case in point, this is very interesting, because this gentleman, his name is Rich Siegel. He is from New Jersey. He's from Teaneck, New Jersey. And it says, this tweet came, it says, stolen West Bank settlement homes are being sold in America to Jews. A real estate event at a synagogue, it was set up, and this fine gentleman, a Jewish man, was having none of it. His name is Rich Siegel. And I hope you can hear this, because I recorded this from Rich Siegel. And this is him confronting his synagogue in Teaneck, New Jersey, right here in the US, about this exact thing. And let me know if you can hear this.
Hi, my name is Rich Siegel. I'm a 25-year homeowner here in Teaneck. I'm Jewish. The reason that I'm telling you that I'm Jewish is because I have a concern about something that's going on in the Jewish community. On March 10th, there is scheduled to be an Israeli real estate sales event at the Keter Torah synagogue. That event violates both domestic law and international law. Violates domestic law because we had a Civil Rights Act in 1965 and a Fair Housing Act in 1968. We don't allow real estate events to be for whites only, for Jews only, for anybody only. Now, as Jews, we don't get to fly under the radar and break the law and hide it in a synagogue. It violates international law because West Bank settlement homes are going to be available for sale at this real estate event. On the website, it lists 3 different West Bank settlements. Those settlements are in and of themselves illegal by international law. If we allow this sale to go through, we are enabling a local synagogue to violate both domestic anti-discrimination laws and international law. Now, there's other reasons we shouldn't allow it, okay? There's a genocide going on right now. I don't care who that offends. More than 35,000 people have been killed. More than 13,000 children have been killed. People in this community are in deep mourning. People in this community are angry. I'm angry. What this real estate event is going to do is it's going to fan the flames. If it goes forward, there will be a demonstration. I know there's going to be a demonstration because I'm going to organize it.
And this is from, hopefully, turn this down a little bit. This is, I mean, I am so proud and so happy that this man has taken this stand, because this is what is happening. They are literally illegally selling off these people's homes in Palestine, and they're using synagogues to do it. It is illegal. It's against international law, and nobody's doing anything. And if it wasn't for a person like Rich Siegel, who, again, he's Jewish. This is his community and his synagogue. These are his people he's talking to, alerting them to the fact that this is what is happening here in America, that they're selling off homes against international law, where Jewish people here can buy those homes they're kicking Palestinians out of. And so this is the kind of thing that is happening right now. And it is just, and again, the US is like, oh, we're going to sanction people who has American, I mean, but they're going to bypass that. Who's going to who's going to be there and hold them accountable to any of this? So I am just like, thank you, Rich Siegel, for standing up. And he's like, look, if this event is, and again, this event is going to be March the 10th, which is, what is that? On Monday, I think that'll be Sunday or Monday, that this event is going to be. And he's like, if this event goes forward, there's going to be a protest, because I am going to organize this protest. And this is what it's going to take for people like Rich and others to stand up and be like, you know what, this is unacceptable. We're not going to accept this anymore. We're going to protest that this is wrong. It is against the law. And this is just theft. You're stealing from people that you're killing. And this is the thing that I've been saying from the beginning. This is what this is about. This whole thing is about ethnically cleansing the Palestinians from out of their land so they can steal it. This is what it's all about, no matter what they say. So this is what's going on. If you want an idea of what is happening, the photo on the right is a little part of Gaza. This is what it was before. This is what Israel has done to it. Look at the bottom, and then look at the picture on the left. The whole of the Gaza Strip. It is like a wasteland. People can't, and even the wasteland they're still bombing. What they're doing is that they're taking down all of these there. They're using bulldozers to mash everything down to the ground. And now they're even posting photos with construction companies from the US, who apparently is going to be going there to build stuff for Israel, not the people of Gaza, not the people who owns this stuff. It is crazy what is happening. And again, all with complete immunity. The US has been covering for this over and over, no matter what they say, no matter what the government of the United States say, they know exactly what is happening. Now they're saying that, oh, we're going to do a temporary ceasefire and it's just like, that's nonsense. Israel, the only place that the Palestinians have, they're in Rafah right now. They have nowhere to go other than the sea, and Israel is bombing them in Rafah right now as we speak today. People are being massacred every single day in Rafah. They have nowhere else to go. All of this is being torn down. All of these houses and buildings that they bomb are being torn down, and settlers from the West Bank, who they could claim Hamas is not in the West Bank. And the same patterns, the bombings, the killings, the abductions that Israel has been doing for 75 years is going on in the West Bank, where Hamas is not there. Hamas is only in Gaza. And so they are basically the settlers, the illegal settlers from the West Bank have now started moving into northern Gaza, where they're all planting their Israeli flags. So that's kind of what is going on. And to compound matters, we have religious leaders who are just participating in all this mess. A few days ago, on the 29th of February, and I've had this to talk about for a while, but it's just been so much. The Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby in the UK, you remember him, he posted this. He says, recently, I declined to meet Reverend Dr. Munther Isaac during his UK visit. I apologize for and deeply regret this decision and the hurt, anger, confusion it caused. I was wrong to not meet with my brother in Christ from the Holy Land, especially at a time of profound suffering for our Palestinian Christian brothers and sisters. I look forward to speaking and praying with him next week. So Munther Isaac, he is a Lutheran minister in Bethlehem. He literally is a minister in a church where Jesus was born. And all around him, all the churches were bombed by Israel, including they were even bombing Christian churches on Christmas Day, even while they are like, oh, Merry Christmas to Christians. They were literally bombing churches on Christmas Day. And if you see in Munther, the little picture above his face, that's him at the bottom, and it's like rubbles they put there, and it's sort of like, instead of like the Christmas thing they put up with Jesus and Mary and all of that stuff, instead of that, they put the rubble and the baby there because that's where Jesus was supposedly born. And his thing was, if Jesus was born today, he would be buried under the rubble because they were bombing churches on Christmas. And that was what that picture represents, that if Jesus was born right there in Bethlehem on the day, he would be under those rebels. He would be killed as the other kids are under those rebels. By that time, there was about 20,000 people killed. Now there's like over 34,000. And so this is who Munther Isaac is. He's a minister, a Lutheran minister from a church in Bethlehem, Jesus' birthplace. He came to the UK last week, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, whatever it is. Justin Welby, who is the Archbishop, refused to meet him. And why did Justin Welby refuse to meet him? Pastor says Welby would not meet with him if he spoke at a Palestinian rally with Corbyn, who is Jeremy Corbyn. Archbishop said he could not meet Bethlehem Lutheran Munther Isaac if he shared a platform with the former Labour leader, Isaac says. Are you serious? What has Jeremy Corbyn been doing for since October 7th, when we've all been protesting, whatever? All he has done is shown up for the Palestinian people, spoken at all these rallies, been protesting and doing everything in his power in support of the Palestinian people. And Justin Welby, who is supposedly a Christian, refused to meet with his brother in Christ, apparently brother in Christ, because he was sharing a stage with Jeremy Corbyn speaking at a Palestinian protest rally. This supposed Christian refused to meet a Christian man because he was speaking with Jeremy Corbyn, and Jeremy Corbyn was a former Labour leader. And so this is what Munther Isaac, he wrote in this article. He says, it is so painful for us to see the Christian church turn a blind eye to what is happening, offering words of concern and compassion, but for so long, they have been silent in the face of obvious war crimes. Church seem paralyzed, and they seem willing to sacrifice the Christian presence in Palestine for the sake of avoiding controversy and not criticizing Israel. I have had so many difficult conversations with church leaders. I know from meeting many church leaders that in private, they say one thing, and then in public, they say another. I've had the same experience with many politicians and diplomats. And so when Justin Welby tweeted that he was sorry and he apologized for not meeting him, how gracious is Munther Isaac? Because, I mean, he's much more gracious than I would have been. I would be like, dude, bye. But this is what he says. He says, thank you, Archbishop Justin Welby. I welcome the statement, and I look forward to meeting you next week as brothers in Christ. Justin Welby had no problems meeting Israeli leader here. He had no problems meeting him. He had no problems at all meeting him. But he would have a problem meeting his brother in Christ. It is unbelievable to me that he would do something like that. And okay, you could be like, okay, he apologized, we all make mistakes. And yes, we all make mistakes. But if you didn't have a problem meeting with the leader, the president of Israel, who is committing genocide right now, you had no problems. He is laughing and all of that stuff. But most of it is, he didn't want to rock the boat. He had no problem with meeting him, but he would have problems meeting a brother in Christ whose church is being bombed right now. This is the kind of fakeness that is going on when you see it, because I've been asking, where are the church leaders? And this explains so well. This explains so well what is happening. This is all for we've called out Justin Welby before. A lot of his stuff, he will not do anything that if it goes against the politics of the land, if it goes against the prime minister, if it goes against the royals, don't expect Justin Welby to stand up. His position on Palestine is exactly the British press position. It's exactly the British government position. It's exactly their position. And instead of standing up and calling out Israel for what they're doing, he would reject his own supposed brother in Christ. This is the kind of hypocrisy. This is why I could never, ever take Justin Welby and the rest of them seriously about anything. Again, this is the same man who wanted Brits to pledge allegiance to King Charles. And people are like, no, he's the one who came up with it. This man is no Christian. I don't care what his title is. He is no Christian. This is a job that gives him good publicity, gives him money, gives him power. That's all that is. And instead of condemning the genocide that's going on, he rather, Jeremy Corbyn, when he was running, there people call him anti-Semitic and all of that stuff. So I can't meet you. You're supposed to be Christian. I'm telling you. And if you were to go to Israel right now, if Christians were to be in Israel right now, the majority of them, when there are so many videos of this, with Zionists walking by and literally hacking and spitting on Christians. It's like a tradition they do or something like that. And it's craziness. This whole religious, the fact that the King Charles is the head of the church in the UK, that alone should tell you where they are. That alone. Prince William, when King Charles is no longer king, Prince William is going to take over the head of the church. That's to tell you where this is. And that's why, it's like, if you're, people talk about Christian, like, I don't understand how you could believe in any of what these people are doing. It's nothing to do with biblical anything. It is fake. It is completely fake. If you have no problem sitting there meeting a genocidal Zionist like Benjamin Netanyahu, but you have a problem meeting your own brother in Christ, you have a problem. That is a huge problem. And Munther Isaac is gracious enough to be like, okay, I forgive whatever. But I'm glad he spoke out about the way the religious community has been behaving, because a lot of them, even our own president, who considers themselves Christians, a lot of Christians they identify as Zionists, the same ideology that's committing genocide right now in Palestine. And so I know a lot of people don't like me talking about, look, we got to call it, the truth is the truth, right? I don't like seeing it because I consider myself a Christian, and I'm like, ooh, this ain't it. This is not biblical. This is not it. This is not it. And so, yeah, I mean, I saw this and I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I've been seeing. This has exactly been the attitude. This is not Christian. It is not for you to sit there and it's like, oh, I don't want to rock the boat, but I could be perfectly fine, because if I stay with Israel and if I stay supporting Israel, nobody is going to come after me while they are committing genocide. Okay, I'll be all happy to meet Benjamin Netanyahu and all of that stuff, but, because it doesn't rock the boat. But if I could meet this minister who's all the churches are being bombed, that'll be a little bit of a problem if you get with Jeremy Corbyn, because, he doesn't really support Israel. Yeah. I mean, that's hello. So anyways, I'm not belaboring the point, but that's just so you know, this is where Justin Welby is. And okay, he's apologized, but he, if I were a Brit and this man was my leader, he would have to give account. He would have to literally to give account for for this. This is, and if this is the case here, there are other issues there. I mean, on top of all the racism that from their church that they're trying to correct now, it's been a mess. So yeah. Anyways, moving on from that, I just wanted to mention that there. So anyway, away from all of that, back to our faves, back to away from the UK, back to our faves, and then I'm gonna get into the chat. And yeah, and Harry, everything again. Harry touches all of his organizations and foundations, and all of them are doing great. This is wonderful. I don't know if I shared it before, but it says in collaboration with Diamond Do Good, Duma FM Radio, Sentebale, Botswana is letting youths on air. This initiative gives a safe space for young people to share how their generation's positive attitude leads to a renewed focus on health and socioeconomic well-being. So Sentebale is doing great. Kids are learning to be on air. Maybe they're going to be doing podcasts. They're going to be the future of broadcasting wherever they decide to go. And I think it's really wonderful that Sentebale is giving them this opportunity. So kudos to Prince Harry's organization, Prince Harry and Prince Cecil. Invictus Games Nigeria, they're celebrating. They're like, highlights. It was a remarkable experience at the Invictus Games Dusseldorf 2023 and the first ever Invictus Games in Germany. And we, Invictus Nigeria, was honored and super excited to be part of this community. Nigeria team are amazing. We all love them so much. Can't wait to see them in Vancouver and Whistler. And finally, Invictus, they are looking to hire people. So if you are a part of this community or not, maybe you could still, work with them. It says Invictus Games Foundation is hiring for an esports manager. So we are looking to further develop our esports offering and best practices to aid recovery of the international wounded and injured servicemen and women community. Thanks to the continued support of partner Amazon to facilitate this role. And so as you can see there, so just jump on the Invictus Foundation website. Actually, I'll put the link in our community page. So if you are interested in working with Invictus Games, especially if you're part of the military community, definitely, and this is your thing, esports is your thing, Why not? Go ahead and see if you can get hired to work with Invictus Games. They are obviously amazing. I love the fact that they put Amazon there, that Amazon continues their support. They thank Amazon because trolls and those in the UK were saying that, oh, Amazon quit, Amazon is no longer supporting them and all of that nonsense. They just assume that everyone is going to abandon, especially the Sussexes, which is the whole deal. But it's wonderful to see Amazon is still there. They obviously, in Dusseldorf, they were the ones that purchased all the tickets so people could all go for free, and so they are still there supporting the Invictus game. So that is wonderful, wonderful news. So that's all I got. I know it was a lot. So I'm going to stay in the chat for a bit and see what you guys are saying. Oh my gosh, it's been an hour and 25 minutes. I know it's been a lot. So Maverick says, those fake Christians who worship power, not divinity. This is exactly what that is. That is exactly what that is. And Louis says the church are all involved in politics. Yeah, which is, even in the US, you'll see that, which I don't understand why they allow politicians to come to their churches and speak, and which I was very happy the last time President Biden did that mess, which a lot of people thought that it was a service because the church that he went to, they had someone had gone and committed, shot people in that church, and they thought it was like a memorial for that, which it wasn't. It was a political rally that President Biden was there, and there were people there that stood up and they were like, look, free Palestine. And, many people were upset at them for protesting in that church, but they had every right. And I am glad they didn't. Later, I remember Lamar Hill was like, how dare the people of this church allow this man to come there and be doing a political rally while in the middle he is literally participating in a genocide in Palestine. And then people were upset at people protesting him there, where there was a misunderstanding. People thought it was like a memorial for the people that died there, and it wasn't. It was a political rally. You see this sort of thing in the US all the time. I've even seen videos of Donald Trump being allowed to go into Black churches, and it's just like, I don't understand why you do that. Why are you allowing these people in your church? Let them go to a community center or something. It's craziness. I don't care what the party is, Republican or Democrat or independent. Do not, let political leaders stay out of the church. Go have your rally in a community center, in this, whatever. Don't bring them into your church. That's craziness. Let's see. Kamso. Hello, Kamso. I've never seen you here before, but Kamso says Nigerian Christians in the north of my country are suffering for what doesn't connect them at all. I'm not sure I understand what that means at the end. That what doesn't connect them at all. But that's sad that they're suffering. Do you want to explain what they're suffering, what the deal is with the Nigerian Christians in the north? I didn't know about that. So yeah, definitely share with us. So yes, very true. Stop calling them Christians. They're not. Exactly. This is exactly it. They're not. Christians mean like Christ. If a person is professing to be a Christian and doesn't behave like Christ, that person is not a Christian. Very, 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 very true. This is absolute fact. Thank you, Sash. Absolute fact. Let's see. Kamso also said Hamas should be condemned. The government in the West Bank should speak for the Palestinian people. The thing is with all of this is, the going narrative is Hamas is a terrorist organization. Hamas is not a terrorist organization. Hamas is a resistance organization. They are literally an elected government in Gaza. They literally are elected. And so, yes, whatever you think of October 7th, any kind of criminal act is criminal. It doesn't matter who did it, whether it's Hamas or Israel. It was criminal activity. whether it's killing people, hostages, it's all criminal act. But again, as we've pointed out over and over, and if you look at the history, it wasn't done in a vacuum. It was in response to what has been done for over 75 years to the Palestinian people, and the fact that they are under apartheid rule. They are literally in a open air prison that Israel has kept them for the last 17 years. They literally cannot leave the Gaza Strip. They are literally cut off from the West Bank. They are very, very different. So Hamas is literally only in Gaza. The West Bank is a different government over there. And then the West Bank is, even though there's like different rule, the West Bank is under Israeli apartheid rule. So Israel literally is occupying West Bank. So even if they're not in Gaza, they're still under Israelis apartheid rule in the West Bank. You just have to go and see what they're doing there now. So even though people are like Hamas is not in the West Bank. And Israel is doing exactly to them what they're doing to the people of Gaza. They're ethnically cleansing them. Like we just listened to Rich, we just listened to Rich Siegel talk about them selling off homes in the West Bank. This is what's been going on all the time. So yes, the actions definitely condemn. You definitely condemn violence no matter who is doing it. But then when you understand the history of why these things happen, then you understand. And again, no, it's no matter how much you call them terrorists, they're not. It's because if I'm going to call Hamas terrorists, then what do you call Israel? Hamas has never killed 30,000 Israelis. Israel's government has now killed over 30,000 Palestinians. And that's just from October 7th. We're not talking about all the hundreds of thousands they've killed before October 7th, even leading up to October 7th. So if I'm to call Hamas terrorists, what am I supposed to call Israel, who's done hundreds of times worse? So that's why, for me, I don't buy into the concept of, oh, this is a terrorist group, that is a terrorist. No, they're a resistance group. When you're occupying people's land, you have to expect resistance. If someone were to come into my home and decide they want to occupy my home, they want to sell off my property and kill my family, you better believe I am resisting. You better believe they're going to have to fight me to get it. And this is what is happening. And this is why I don't buy into Western media's nonsense about, oh, this person is a terrorist and that person is a terrorist. I was like, look at Israel. Look at the United States. Look at all the countries, like literally right now that they are bombing. Look at how many people they've murdered. Look at, hello. So if I'm to call Hamas terrorists, well, then what am I going to call the United States? With how many hundreds of thousands of people they have murdered in the just in the, from Barack Obama to now, how many countries have they bombed? And how many people they've murdered in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Syria, in Libya, in Yemen? Like, how many hundreds of thousands of people have they murdered? So if I'm to call Hamas a terrorist, what am I supposed to call America? What am I supposed to call Israel? What am I supposed to call Germany? What am I supposed to call the UK? So again, that is why I don't buy into that whole narrative. Because they have done a whole lot worse than Hamas is. So again, just look at the numbers. That's all you got to do. It's just like, well, if I'm calling this person this, then what do you call that person? Just by the numbers. Let's see. Karen Werner says, what is happening now and all that is revealed? Did Hamas really start this? I am not convinced this is something that Israel has started. Yeah, hello, 75 years ago. They had the Nakba, in 1948, whatever, where they ethnically cleansed Palestinians of their land and take, hello, this is, again, when people are like, oh, October 7th, I'm just like, just go back and read your history, please. Go back and look at their history. You would understand this doesn't happen just in a vacuum. These are people, again, if you're coming to my home to try to take over I will be resisting you. There's going to be a fight. So then am I a terrorist for fighting you back? You don't have rights when you come onto people's land and try to steal it and then claim when they fight you back, they're like, I am the victim and I have a right to defend. You don't have a right to defend yourself on people's land. You don't. That is just the rules, no matter how much you say it. You don't. And then the idea to call them terrorists because they're fighting you back from stealing their land. I mean, hello. It's just, people are like, oh, it's not complicated. It is a very simple concept. You come into someone's land, it's not yours. It's not your property. You don't have rights on other people's land. I can't go into your property and say, okay, I'm taking over your land and expect you to not resist. Hello. And that's basically what is happening. That is as simple as what is happening. If you look at the same situation with Russia and Ukraine, Russia is trying to take over Ukraine. We understand the concept that Russia is the bad guy here. You don't go into Ukraine and try to take over their land. The Western governments understand that. And they're fighting Russia, rightly so. Well, it's the same concept in Israel and Palestine, except Israel is Russia. They're in the part of Russia in the Middle East. So why don't we understand that concept there? Why? Because they're black and brown people. That's whose land that they want to take. And that is why it's not that they don't understand it. They refuse to acknowledge it. They want to take black and brown people's land. They understand it when it's the white person fighting back and resisting. They don't call Ukrainians terrorists. Look how many Ukrainians have taken up arms. They are called, oh my goodness, they are these heroes who've taken up arms to fight Russia. They do not call them terrorists. Then why, in the same vein, why do they call Palestinian terrorists? Because they fight back. It's the same concept. It's not difficult. And that is why I don't buy into the nonsense of the United States and the rest of the world's labeling of people. Rosa said they once called Nelson. Exactly. Yep. Exactly. And Nelson Mandela was one of the people. That's why he's a hero in Palestine. Really supported and stood up for Palestine. That's why he has a statue there. Let's see. Rosa says, "Fella, I agree with you. U.S. and all Western nations have a habit of calling anyone who opposes their invasion a terrorist." Yeah, they do. They do. And it's just like, wait a minute. You are doing worse. Who are you to be condemning other people when you are literally doing worse? Unbelievable. It's like you're sanctioning people because of this and that. But your actions are worse. You don't have a pulpit to stand on because your actions are worse. So yeah. Joan Hickey's back to the Royals. Everything the KP's crowd does is fake. Yeah, well, people are now like they're not believing anything that comes out of Kensington Palace because they just lie too much. They just lie and lie and lie. Rosa's like fake religious robes, very fake. Very, very fake. Scotty Brown back to Kate's like, where are her protection officers? She's the future Queen of England recovering from surgery. Yet they allow a recovery woman from a serious operation with no protect, which is what I was saying before, because I want to believe if this photo is her, which again, I don't know. If it's her, it's the angle of the photo. And if there is a car wheel behind, I want to believe because of the angle of the photo, you don't see the car because the camera was low to the ground. So that could have been why we don't see the photo. We see the wheel because we could see under the car, but not the car in the back, the top of the car. So I want to believe if that indeed was a car, then that would be her protection, which is fine. We've seen protection do that before, where they ride in the car behind or in front. So, or maybe her protection is in front. Who knows? But I wouldn't believe that if that's her, she would go out without protection. I don't see that happening. Let's see. gonna scroll up more on the royals. But I mean, with all of the madness going on, our faves are doing great. Our faves are doing great. So I am very happy about that. John says, is Lemonada a pan app or site we can get it? Or site we can get it. Oh, Lemonade is a web. Oh, I mean, they do have an. I don't think they have an app. I just got it on their website. They have a website, so just go. They have all their podcasts there. But I did not see Archetypes on their podcast because I think their website only, it seems, only have podcasts that they produced, and because Archetypes was not produced there, it's not on their website, but they are managing the distribution to, worldwide platforms that, wherever you can listen to podcasts. So at least when I looked at it this morning, I mean, maybe that's changed now, but when I looked at it this morning, Archetypes wasn't on their podcast. And so that's what I thought maybe was happening, that only the podcast that they produce are on that site. So that's what I was thinking. But if you go to Apple or even Spotify or Amazon or wherever, I'm assuming even Audible also have podcasts. Wherever you get your podcast, then you should be able to find Archetypes there. So yeah. And in our community page, I put the link to Apple. That's the one I use. So I put it in our community page. So there. What else? Let's see. Scrolling up a little bit. Jody says, meanwhile, the same toxic press will continue to blather about the Sussex charity supporting women and other people who needs help. Of course. But the good thing, though, is that, again, the Sussexes are not there, so the Waleses cannot hide behind them. So there you go. They cannot hide behind them. So now that the public is seeing them for the laziness that they are, hey, there you go. Little Max says, she's talking to Peach Rose. Meghan never had 0 views. She's now laughing all the way to the bank with her new deal. Exactly. Little old me never had 0 views. So there. That is the wonderful thing about that. So yeah. That's fine. There's a long podcast, Joyce. She's like, you can definitely see the replay of it. Let's see a couple more before we end. Madwell says, Petal, you can usually see the other cars through the windows. At least I didn't see one. I didn't see one either. And that's why I thought maybe it was the angle. I thought maybe it was the angle that, where the shot is. That's why you only saw the wheel and not. Because if you're shooting from the ground and if your camera is on the ground, then you won't see the car behind. You'll see the wheel as you saw. But yeah, so that's what I thought. Again, it could be photoshopped. So that's what I was trying to give it a, benefit of a doubt, maybe. So yeah, I just so yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Sass says, FYI, the Jews in Israel have their roots in Ukraine. Ukraine is their bloodland. That is one reason why the U.S. approved the $95 billion and to Ukraine and Israel. Yeah, I mean, the Zelensky is Israeli. He's Jewish, and he fully supports. And for me, it's really weird because he is literally in the position of Palestine, but he supports Israel. He is Jewish, so then here you go. And so, yeah. But I mean, I think this bill is still stuck. I don't think Congress has approved it. Hopefully, they don't. Sorry, there no money need to be going to Israel. I can understand Ukraine, they need to get rid of whatever, but no more money needs to be going to Israel, not for what they're doing. So yeah, I think this is still stuck in Congress. So yeah, whether that's going forward or not, I don't know. But I do believe that, yeah, there's a lot of Jews in, including Zelensky. He's Jewish. So yeah, totally believe that. Thank you, Sash. Yeah. Arrington W says, Petal, thank you for the link for the Meghan podcast. It was wonderful to hear it free. Grateful, wonderful woman. I know. I can't wait to listen to all of them again. And I saw Serena and Mariah Carey. I was like, yes, I can do my walk and listening to all of my faves. So anyway, guys, I think that's it. I've been talking way too much. I love you all. Thank you so much. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Church Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream, Black Queen. You are amazing. Thank you. For everything that you do. Thank you to all of our 2 Cents crew who support the channel on a monthly basis. You are awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you, and thank you so much for everything that you do. I appreciate it, and for supporting all of you who also support in the chat. If you support on PayPal or Cash App, huge thanks. Thank you all so much. I love you all. Have a fantastic day, and I will chat with you next time. Bye.